we can be so fixed on our own conception of what's right for us or the solution to our problems and what we think is going to be the solution, the right thing, that actually there might be another path for us that a higher power has planned that we're completely neglectful of because we're so fixated on our own direction and our own idea of what's right and path for us. Hey guys, welcome back to the Here For Now podcast, Ep.2, with myself, Ananda, Abhi and Joseph. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Why are you so fantastic?
Just happy doing the podcast. Happy being with my friends. Yeah. How are you?
I just had a boatload of ice cream.
Yeah, I need to get some of that later today.
Yeah.
It's a new restaurant opened in central London.
That's right, yeah, for those who don't know. Studio 108 just opened a new cafe upstairs called Govinda's. And we just had the opening. So it was amazing. We were having kirtan. Everyone was there, all of our friends. We had...
People might not know what kirtan is as well.
Right. Yeah. The chanting of sacred mantras, but in a very contemporary way we did it. With, lots of dancing and jumping around and contemporary instruments. And anyway, we had food. And the food was nicely finished with 9 different flavors of ice cream.
Oh my gosh.
All tasted to everyone's fullest desire.
Do you remember the flavors?
Well, I know what I had was strawberry, raspberry, and lemon. I'm a fruity guy. And I had the same 3 flavors over and over again.
So Joseph knows you're a fruity guy.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Leave that for the next podcast.
You know what was being said before we started filming?
Okay.
But yeah, ice cream. And there was also caramel, vanilla, so many flavors. Mango, that was a fan favorite. Everyone did.
Mango sorbet.
Everybody loves mango ice cream. No, it's more of like a dairy mango. It was like a creamy mango. Yeah, it's
Wow,
good.
That's good.
Like a Solero, but natural.
Oh yes, homemade. All of it homemade. It was amazing. It's really, really good.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Or combo?
Pistachio.
Pistachio, same as me.
Really?
Pistachio and vanilla.
Yeah, I like
Combo is so good. My
In
dad.
high school favorite. It's a really posh flavor.
The way Joseph said it was really posh as well.
Yes.
Pistachio. Pistachio. I love it as well. So my dad would always order pistachio. I never knew what all the fuss was about when I had it for the first time. It's so good for me. I mean, Abhi.
Yeah, nice.
Have you had pistachio?
Yeah, it's my mom's favorite.
Okay.
So she would always force feed me some of her portion. But I was indulging in my vanilla, caramel, or fruit flavors.
Nice.
No, it's good.
Yeah. And then you had a good week, past week.
Well, we all had a good week because it was your birthday.
Yeah.
Got to celebrate.
Old man.
It's on there. It's getting older.
I'm actually the oldest person here. You wouldn't believe it. That's true. Everyone always thinks Abhi's the oldest because he's so mature.
Until they get to know me. And then they find out the hard reality. Yeah, so how was your birthday week? Or birthday?
Yeah.
All the celebrations, like, how was it for you? Any reflections on the year before?
Oh, wow. I can tell you about the day firstly. I don't know about reflections yet. I need to think about it. But yeah, the day was really, really nice. Growing up, I would usually celebrate with my family. I actually, I didn't really like the attention to be on me. And so whenever my parents would organize these big parties for me when I was like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, apparently everyone else would be playing, but I'd be sitting at the dinner table eating the cake because everyone else was playing. I'd just still be eating. So I didn't want to get involved too much.
Is that because you ate so much or you ate so slow? It's both of those things I know you do.
Probably a mixture of both. But yeah, and then I go to France traditionally every summer with my family as well. And when I went to France, none of my friends would be there, so it'd just be me and my family. Be quite a low-key affair. And so I'd really like that. And I remember we went to my grandparents' house. My parents have a house there, my grandparents have a house there, and we'd go to my grandparents to celebrate. And it was just me, my parents, my older sister, and my grandparents. But then, and like celebrating, enjoying my birthday meal, I must have been like 3 or 4. But then some guests that my grandparents had came up the drive, and I just burst into tears. Apparently, I just hated having other people.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, but then this year, I mean, yeah, it shows how much times have changed, I guess, because I was with all my friends. They were like, even people I didn't know, really, to celebrate, you know, because we celebrated my birthday both at Studio 108 in the evening, like one of the kind of spiritual night outs we do there. And then also in the morning, kind of my social circle, when it's someone's birthday, generally you don't receive so much as you try to give to other people, as a principle. Because actually we're a lot happier when we're giving them than when we're receiving. And because of that, one of the greatest privileges we can have in this life is to try and use the opportunity we have to give to others. So what greater gift to receive on your birthday than the opportunity to give to other people. And so I just made this enormous crumble, which you both tried some of. I was pleased with how it came out. It was like an apple and blackberry crumble, nutmeg, cinnamon and other spices.
A bit of lemon
as well. Yeah, lemon rind. I don't know, yeah, lemon rind, I guess. Zest, that's it. Anyway, I was pleased with how it came out. And someone I really look up to, that I wanted to give some of this crumble to, because he's a crumble fanatic. I hadn't saved an extra platter for the evening at Studio 108, and so I gave it to him, and he was really pleased. He loved it. Yeah.
Good for him.
He's called Dial Mora. He's a bit of a legend. Quite cool name, Dial Mora. When he introduced himself, he's always like, Dial Mora.
Yeah. If you ever want more, you can dial for more.
Yeah. Anyway, Vanessa had a really nice day with my friends. Trying to give as much as possible. Then I saw my best friend Hector, who I went to school with, secondary school, and we've both been on the spiritual path on kind of parallel roads. So I saw him the next day, and the day after that, saw my old uni mates. Played some pickleball. Have you heard of pickleball?
I have no idea.
You told me about it.
It's like tennis. You have paddles. It's like a small court. It's indoors anyway. So we're playing pickleball, playing some football.
Wait, is it like badminton?
It's like badminton with a really low net.
Oh.
Well, like, yeah, tennis net pretty much. And then like badminton rules. Anyway, so yeah, I had a nice week. And I saw my siblings yesterday. My parents are in France at the moment. Got some nice gifts, one of which is this shirt that those who are watching the video are very fortunate to be able to see. Those who are listening, I can only describe it to you. It's like, it's got these nice floral stitching designs on them. It's a kind of khaki colour.
I don't know what that means, but I love this shirt.
It's like, and then some Birkenstocks.
Nice.
Just simple. Anyway, yeah, it was an awesome week. Yeah, one more year around the sun.
How old are you now?
27.
For some reason, 27 is like very different. Feels very different to 26, 25. You know, it's like you're actually an adult.
Yeah.
Somehow. I probably also thought that about 25 when I was younger, but you know what I mean.
No, but it definitely feels like that more. Even when I was, something to do with the number 7, even when I was going from like 6 to 7 or 16 to 17, it felt like that for some reason.
It's closer to 10 than it is to 5.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or it feels that way at least.
But no, this is a beneficial thing to say, but
It's not actually close. I just realised it anyway.
No, you know what I mean.
I don't know you,
Anyway, I was not good at math. You know?
Yeah, that's why actually we all think you're 24, but you're actually like 35.
I just never calculated it properly. I am actually the oldest. You've never figured it out. Now go on, Joseph.
Yeah, I don't know if this adds so much, but there's a phenomenon of people committing suicide at 27.
Yeah, I heard of that as well.
But, like all famous people, 27 sort of club. But maybe it's because it's a point in your life where you're changing, thinking about your purpose, going into adulthood. If you have no purpose, then maybe.
Was the point in your life where you're supposed to have accomplished some of your goals?
Yeah.
And many people have accomplished some of their goals by 27, but it's like, then I guess you start to reflect, okay, I've accomplished these goals. The chase winds down a bit, you know? Because if you're sad, miserable, if you're stressed, if you're not fulfilled, the chase for something can distract you, you know? Like, it's okay because I'm still on the chase, you know, once I get to the thing I'm looking for, then if I'm not sad, that'll be a problem. But for now, it's fine that I'm not sad because I'm still on my way to happiness kind of thing, you know? So when you reach 27, it's like, okay, I'm an adult now. I'm supposed to have this. Maybe I do have these things even. Many people do. But then am I happy? Is it making me happy? Then all those questions start to come up. What's the point? Okay, if I keep going in this way, even if I achieve all my goals, will I ever be happy? You know, so I guess those questions start to come up. Yeah, you're the only one here who's 27. Maybe you can speak to that.
I've made it 1 week so far. No, I think it's true. Yeah, what you said about the chase, isn't it? Yeah. Because we're told school, university, relationship / job, family, retirement, and then death, like that. That's the blueprint. And once you've made it through education, then you've got, like you said, if you've got a decent, half-decent job, like all of your schoolwork and all of what your family are telling you, all of what your society is telling you, is that your status and your success will be determined by what position you take up within working life and society, isn't it? Like, if you're a celebrity or if you're like, you know. And then once you have that, most people, not everyone of course, but you'll have a half decent idea of where you're going by that point, by that age usually. And then, yeah, like you said, once you have it, you've stopped chasing and then you're like, okay, I have this now, but I've still got, in theory, like another 50 years to go, so...
Yeah, 50 more years of this.
Yeah, like what was everyone telling me? Everyone was telling me, is this all it's cracked up to be? Okay. I guess it's like a midlife crisis.
Yeah. Quarterly life crisis.
Quarter life crisis.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and to add to that, around your social groups of you grew up in a good family, I did as well, and Abhi, you did as well. When you're 27, you've been working for some time, so you're starting to maybe make good money, maybe go over and have a house maybe at that point. And yeah, is this all it's cracked up to be? Maybe you're thinking that, or maybe you're just questioning your own philosophy on life at that point. And yeah, for me personally, in my early 20s, there's been a big shift between that and my teens, where in my teens it was all about getting from the world in terms of exploiting for my own satisfaction a lot of the time. I think that's just the culture we live in terms of consumerism, in terms of advertisements, TV programs, all these things. And so thankfully for spiritual communities and spiritual friends, I'm able to actually be in a service mood, just like your birthday, where you actually wanted to serve rather than get. And because of that, there's more happiness in serving, I find, than in receiving. Maybe that's the sort of age where you realise that getting isn't making you happy, potentially.
Right. Just consuming. Yeah. Yeah, and different people have that realization at different ages. Like I remember, it must have been at university, the first couple of years, I was just talking to my friend and I was like, I just have this overwhelming sensation that everything I'm doing in life is just some form of consumption, Like you eat, and you smoke something, and then you watch something, and then, you know, I don't know, and you repeat kind of thing, you know. Some people have a slightly more variety of those things, some people less, but excuse me, eat, drink something, smoke something, watch something, speak about something, but it's all just to like take in some stuff which is going to give you some gratification, and it disappears after some time. So I had this overwhelming sensation, like that's all we're doing. There's nothing else. And I guess I saw like a commonality between all these different things. Like some people see them as completely different activities, but I started to see that they all have some kind of relation. It's all just to take something out of, like, you know, squeeze some juice out of life. So I saw some like underlying principle that existed in all of these activities. And then, yeah, I just came to that reality that you're talking about. But I guess at an earlier age, maybe, you know, I was fortunate enough to that information to be presented to me somehow. Then where to go from there?
Yeah. There's a movie that I loved growing up. I mean, if I watched it, maybe I'd still love it, called The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That was one of my favorite movies ever.
It's amazing.
It's a really good movie.
So good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Then I'm just like sadly reflecting now that, you know where I'm going with this. Like,
I have the same reflection, yeah.
which is so sad. It's such a good movie, and it's a really inspirational story. Someone going from, you guys correct me if I'm wrong with remembering what happens, but this African-American guy in New York who just doesn't have much money. He's trying to look after his wife and his young kid.
I think it's San Francisco, I think it was.
Oh, it's in San Francisco, is it?
You probably remember it way better than me. I watched it like 4 times.
And he's going around, he's like selling these boxes. What are these boxes again? They're like, do you remember?
Some kind of medical equipment, like some special new, not X-ray machine, but something like that. Like tested something for people.
Yeah, that's how he makes his money, and he gets like in big shipments of these boxes, which he crams into one room in his flat every month. Then he has to try and sell as many as possible, and he's like just making rent every month. But then he's not making it anymore, and his wife's partner's crazy at him. He's not able to support them. He's a kind-hearted person, so he's suffering like anything. And then the landlord comes and says, "You're going to have to leave." You know, he's not making rent. His wife threatens to leave with the son as well. He's so young. And anyway, and then it begins this super inspirational story where he, I think he's going to these offices trying to sell these boxes, and he goes into, it's not Wall Street, is it? If he's in San Francisco, but it's like Wall Street.
Yeah, the equivalent.
The equivalent. And he goes into this big office and he takes an exam basically for this high-paying, high-flying, materialistic financial job. And long story short, whilst he's waiting for the results of this exam, he's like sleeping rough with his son. But he's so caring, he paints this beautiful picture of the world for his son, even though they're sleeping like on the subway underground. He makes it as though they're playing a game, like trying to hide from the baddies upstairs and like all of this, you know. It's like the most heartwarming, satisfying thing when at the end of the movie he gets this incredibly kind person that the world's been so unkind to, gets this job, and he's going to be able to support his family. And yeah, it's so amazing. It's really emotional, that movie, actually. And but then again, it's like, now from what we're just speaking about as well, it's like,
there must have been more to it afterwards.
There must have been more
struggles that came with the money.
Oh gosh, so sad to say. Don't want to be a killjoy or anything. But
that's the hard reality, because they say there's 4 outcomes that can come from achieving anything or desiring anything. You desire something, and then either you don't get it, you're frustrated, or you get it and it disappears quickly, and again you're frustrated, or you get it and it's not what you expected, it's something completely different, you know, like, I don't know, you really want ice cream, you really want your favorite pistachio ice cream, and then you go and you wait in line for an hour and you get the ice cream, and it's just like not as good as any other pistachio ice cream you ever had. Anyway, or the final one is you get it, it's exactly what you imagined, it stays for a very long time, but it comes with so many other problems, so many other complications. If you analyze life, it's like anything always falls into those categories. So this person. I forget his name that the movie was about.
I can't remember right now. It'll come to me.
But
Things usually come to you.
Yeah, my concept.
you know the movie as well, right?
Yeah, but don't.
So it must have been something
It's
that
like
happened
Chris or
afterwards.
something.
Chris something, yeah.
Chris Coley or something. Anyway.
Yeah. So something else must have happened afterwards. And that's life. Life is always throwing stuff at us. Must have been more to the story. It would have been interesting to have a part 2. I made a part 2 of that.
Yeah, a realization I had recently is that.
Can I just share before we move on to that?
Go on.
Because I just always remembered this. Well, there's so many bits from that movie that I remember. But I remember one bit, which is when he and his son are walking along the road. And actually, I think a lot of the movie, well, some of the movie was improvised because it's Will Smith and his son, Jaden Smith, who's only like 5 years old.
That's why the movie was so well made.
Yeah, because his son's just like, oh, I'm with my dad, you know, and he's so sweet that he'd be very organic and off script. And anyway, one scene they're just walking together, and so Jaden Smith says, he's like, I've got a joke for you, or something like this. Or a riddle, it's kind of a joke / riddle. It's a joke. And he's like, there was this man who was in the sea and he was drowning. And as he was drowning, he was praying for God to save him, please to save him. And anyway, and so he's there like struggling and he's waving to the shore. But no one's really paying any attention, he's waving, and then this boat comes by. But he's so fixed on waving to the shore that the boat goes by and it goes. And he's still waving and he's struggling. And he's going below the water, another boat goes by, and it happens again a third time. And then he dies, he drowns, you know. And he's at the gates of heaven and he says to God, like, I was praying so hard, no one was looking at me, why didn't you save me? And he was like, I sent 3 ships for you, dummy, like this. And I don't know, I just always remembered that. Because we can be so fixed on our own conception of what's right for us or the solution to our problems that, and what we think is going to be the solution, the right thing, that actually there might be another path for us that a higher power has planned that we're completely neglectful of because we're so fixated on our own direction and our own idea of what's right and path for us. Anyway, I just always remembered that. I thought it was so nice.
Yeah, in other words, be open to the lesson coming to you, you know. Be open to your plans being changed at any time for a higher purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I don't remember that from the movie. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
I actually heard that before in the movie separately. A Jewish sort of.
A wise Jewish man.
Wise Jewish lady actually told me that. Sexist.
Sorry, guys.
Cancelled.
But what I was thinking about recently is that rather than getting things makes me happy, letting lower things go makes one happy. And so when one gets into spirituality, you get a higher taste. So naturally, you give up things that aren't so good for you, bad habits, smoking, drinking, all these things. But then even in spiritual life, you're giving up things that might be good for you for higher things that are also good for you, if that makes sense.
Interesting point. That's something that people, I guess, struggle with a lot, right? Would you care to elaborate?
Well, I think one thing in my own life is what we practice is Bhakti yoga, which is said to be the highest form of yoga, right? Where you're connecting through the divine, through loving service.
Where is it said to be the highest form of yoga? Because people might think, where is that said? Sorry to
No, thank you, yeah.
deviate.
Bhagavad Gita. Said to be the highest form of yoga. Am I right?
Yeah. There's definitely in there.
But one might be attached to other forms of spirituality, like I myself have been, not knowing which one's higher. This is also really good for me, so I'm going to carry on doing this. And there's a space for all types of yoga, whether that's physical yoga, that's working in the world, there's a space for it. But prioritization of, if I'm letting some of this go for a higher cause, that's a sign of development rather than trying to balance everything out, is something I've been reflecting on. Not sure I've got an answer for it yet, but
yeah, it's interesting because, like, you know, on the path, whether it's Bhakti yoga or something else that's, I guess the same thing, but just presented differently, because I guess there's many ways it can be presented. But on that path, looking for a higher purpose in life, looking for a virtuous lifestyle, you might have to choose between like this thing and that thing, but both are good for you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, someone might have some different health things that they do, but it just takes up so much of their time, And so then it's this confusing thing where, it feels wrong giving this up or spending less time doing this, because technically speaking, it's good for me, but actually it might be good for you, great for you, better for you, best for you, and then you just have to prioritize like what's really going to give you the ultimate benefit. Right? I know some people that focus way too much on their health.
Yeah.
Way too much. Like they, not just in their time, they might have a couple hours in the day, apart from all the time they spend researching about these things, but a couple hours in their day focusing on their health, exercising or making special meals. But then not just that, but all the mental space that's taken up, just thinking about what's best for this body, what's best for this mind, how can I, totally optimize energy and make everything so efficient and make sure I don't miss out on any health benefits that I can get from these different foods, add all the seeds to my smoothie and all the special things, spend all my money on it. It's like, it eventually becomes an obsession.
So much anxiety.
Yeah, so much anxiety attached to it. Yeah, that's a big thing.
I think that obsession comes from the inherent belief that I am this body, and so I need to really look after myself.
Excuse me.
But that's just one level of health. I guess you can have a healthy mind, which affects your body, a healthy spiritual connection, which affects your mind, which affects your body. And so if one actually knows their full self, then they can actually be healthy overall. If you just think your body and you're obsessing over this health,
you trap yourself at one level.
Yeah, you trap yourself at one level, and you're not actually fully healthy. Yeah.
You're hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Is that the word for it?
Yeah.
I've definitely been that in my life.
Yeah, I've been it to some extent, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, saying to some extent. You started going to the gym, or not?
When I was going to the gym, when I was younger, I was going to the gym a lot, but that was a bit easier because then I could just kind of eat whatever I wanted because I was working out a lot and that kind of stuff. But more later on, when I guess had my more yogi phase of like doing yoga and trying to wake up earlier and all that stuff, which is still great. All those things are great, but the purpose was more for this body rather than for me, my spirit, soul. There's one way of looking at it, which is alternative, is that actually it's like there's a hierarchy, that if you go straight to trying to take care of the soul, which already sounds so esoteric, how do you take care of the soul? What does that even mean? But if you try to go straight to the, living a life for the purpose of the soul, for the benefit of the soul, and automatically your mental health will follow you, because naturally you just be more peaceful. If you're not attached to the body, automatically you'll be more peaceful. And then the body also follows because, that kind of lifestyle, spiritual lifestyle, means you're going to wake up early. Already that's so good for you. So good for your body to wake up early, have a good internal clock. You're not going to eat too much. You're not going to eat too little. Vegetarian, clean, whole food diet comes naturally. Being kind to others, people don't realize that connection to your physical health is huge. Being kind to others, being stress-free, having good mental health. All these things, automatically you'll live longer. You have better longevity. You'll be more peaceful. You have less back pain, Like I noticed extreme differences in my back pain, coinciding with like lower stress levels. It's amazing. It's huge. Like the biggest kind of neck spasm thing that ever happened to me coincided with this extremely stressful 2-week period that I had. And then just towards the end of that 2-week period, I got this terrible neck and back thing where I just could barely move and all this. And I realized, oh my gosh, it's because I'm stressed. I need to just be a little bit more detached, not get so absorbed in all these things which are just stressing me out. So it's all connected.
And then just through changing your psychology, it got better.
Yeah, totally. It needed time to heal, but it never came back. I never came back. That's for sure.
There's a balance, isn't it? Though, because a friend and teacher of mine spoke about 3 concepts of Swarup, Sadhana, and Seva. Just Sanskrit words. Swarup means body. Sadhana is your spiritual practice. Seva is doing service. But that And it is a balance, because you can take care of the soul first, but Swarup is the body, so we have to take care of the body as well. And then sadhana is your spiritual practice, because if your body's falling apart, then it's hard to do your spiritual practice and your meditations. And then when you're well situated in good consciousness, then you can serve others and you can help others and have a positive impact on general society, the general populace. But yeah, if you're too caught up on the body, then you can trap yourself there and so on. So it's a bit of a balance, isn't it? And Hector, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying this, but the friend that I mentioned earlier, who I saw for my birthday last week, I used to live with him in his basement flat in Kennington. And, well, it's a story for another time. He went through something where his body was in a pretty bad condition. And herbal medicines and Ayurveda and yoga proved to be a source of great healing for him, and meaning and direction, but genuine benefit. But then he got so entangled in the Swarup and the sadhana, you could say, that he kind of neglected the seva, the kind of actively being a part of the world and engaging in things. Like, I'd come home and every night without fail he'd be doing his sadhana, like, quite obsessively, and not socializing, not seeing people, becoming very insular and internal, and almost finding it hard when going out and social, all of this sort of thing. He'd say it himself, he got so fixated on his body, like how much to eat at this point in time and this point. He'd be waking up at unusual times and binging, like this sort of thing.
The pendulum swing.
Yeah, so it's a balance, isn't it? You have to be balanced and patient, and be aware that the ultimate goal, I suppose, is to be active spiritually and engaged in the world and helping people. Like, it's our nature to engage, and we're spiritual beings, so it's our nature to engage and help people spiritually as well. But we have to be careful that on the journey there we don't get trapped within ourselves and our own obsessions, body, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
Adding to that, I just want to say how influenced I am personally, but everyone is, by their association. In terms of being on the bodily platform and spiritual life, when I'm with you guys, when I'm with spiritual people, I feel like it's very easy for me to do a meditation, to connect, to ask deeper questions. And this point of being on the bodily platform, I remember since I was about 16 or 17, I was vegetarian. I had a few blips. One blip I had was I went on a retreat, which was a business retreat with people who are much older than me, and they're very kind of puffed up in terms of they had a lot of money, they were drinking, not loads, they were, but that sort of energy. And so I was there and I went...
Very passionate.
Quite
Go-getters.
Go-getters, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went on this retreat looking to learn, or not really thinking much about the association. And each meal was, they had like 5 course meals, and there were meat, there was lots of different things. I was like, yeah, you know what, when I'm here, I'll just have it. Just go with everyone who's eating meat. And it's just that association. As soon as I'm back and with spiritual people, I'm like, what am I doing? Why was I eating meat? It doesn't make any sense. Hadn't eaten it for years. It's just that association of everyone doing the same thing. So in the same way, when being on the bodily platform of being so obsessed with our health, so obsessed with how we look, how we are perceived by others, it's really promoted to us in a way. In terms of, we live in central London, we walk on the streets, it's just all photos of models wearing nothing, very skinny, and this is how we should look, and this is how we're expected to be. And because of that, our minds are just constantly focused on this physical thing. There's no advertisement, or there's very little advertisements to spiritual communities compared to that.
Yeah, imagine if you walked around the street. Imagine a world where, I think there's an interesting book written about like an island which was like this, Aldous Huxley.
Yeah, The Island, this book.
It's called The Island.
Yeah,
I never actually read it, but it was described. I read some of his other books. But anyway, imagine a world where from childhood you walk around in the streets and there's like billboards everywhere being like, you're not the body, you're the soul. Or like, think about your mental health first, or all these different ideas that are neglected. So imagine that you walked around and it was constantly there. Imagine the cool thing was to be spiritual. Imagine you went to school and all the teachers were like very, very open-hearted and open-minded and, you know, thought about the betterment of the world. You'd automatically be like that. It'd be so easy, it'd be effortless. Which I guess these, you know, the Vedic texts describe that there was a time that was like that, you know, where because of the environment we were influenced differently, because people were like that, the energy was totally different, that people would be raised and they would just have this more, you know, virtuous mindset. But yeah, I definitely experienced that. As soon as I'm taken out of my usual social circle of spiritual people and put somewhere else, it's like extremely difficult to have that, you know, very difficult.
I used to work in the modeling industry, and there's like you can get pushed so far in terms of how identified you become with the body that you start to suffer so much that I guess like a lot of people in different ways that you have to try and find a source of meaning and happiness that's beyond your body. Because I just remember, you know, you go into your agency, your agents are sometimes sizing you up. Oh, have you gotten a bit? or you know, for a lot of the girls, this fashion week in a few weeks, you need to get down to size, or like, you know, all of this. And you're going to castings every day. You know, you might go to 100 castings, maybe you'll get one of those jobs. I mean, some people get a lot more, but you might get, you know, but long story short, you're not going to get many of them. And you go in for a few minutes at a time, 3 people sat behind a desk, kind of stare at you, size you up. You might do a little catwalk, or take your top off, do some poses.
Really?
But, yeah, and then they'll be like, oh, thanks so much, lovely to meet you, and then you never hear from them again. Or then you start thinking, I'm really not getting any jobs here. Is there something, do I need to lose some more weight? Do I need to start getting a bit more chiseled? Do I need to bulk up a bit more? Then it's so easy, you just slip completely into this obviously bodily conception. It's like the most materialistic thing. And for a lot of the girls, it's so hard as well.
Yeah. Even non-model girls, just to be in this world as a girl.
Yeah, it's so hard.
So over-sexualized, everything.
Yeah.
All about the body.
Everything. My gosh.
Yeah. And we're lucky that at least for men, like society still values like the qualities of men to some extent. Whereas for women, it's becoming to a point where it's just completely about the body appearance, you know, nothing to do with the personality. That's what men are looking for. They're just looking for the appearance, not thinking about long term in any way. And that's how they value. So then that's all that they care about. And that's all the only qualities that they cultivate and improve and try and grow is just the body. You know? Can't speak about women, but that's what society is pushing them to do. You know, it's so sad. Which eventually, I guess, will also be like that for men. It's a matter of time.
And then the men are seeing things in that way, and they have certain more kind of gross and problematic ways of viewing and objectifying women as well. But then I also noticed that women, you know, you're talking about like the traits of women, or the qualities of women that they think they ought to have. But then some of the qualities of women that are wonderful, like, you know, to nurture, that are more inherent in women than men. I think we can just accept that, like to nurture and, you know, to care and these sensitivities and
to listen.
You know, which men have as well, and women have some of those other traits and vice versa. But at least the qualities that those sorts of qualities are not perceived to be as glorious, because our society seems to be built on qualities that are a little further removed from those things. And so the more typically dominant or controlling traits, it seems like then you have some women they then perceive those to be better than the qualities that they may have inherently, and it's not that they're better, they're just different traits, and so certain women start to mimic certain traits like those, and then you have some imbalances and a little more unhappiness when people are not acting so naturally according to their nature, you know what I mean, according to their nature and so on and so forth. It gets a bit lopsided, because there are traits in women that are glorious, there are traits in men that are glorious, and if people acted more in accordance with what was natural to them, then perhaps things would be a little more harmonious and there'd be less anxiety and tension and so on. It's I don't know, it's very, like, I can't remember the name of this documentary filmmaker, but he's quite famous, and I went to see him speak at Earth Hackney a few years ago, and he travelled to spend time with different indigenous communities, and he went to this community, I think it was in the Congo, where the role of the men in this community was they go out and hunt and be the breadwinners traditionally, right? And the women would take care of things within the village itself and raising the children, etc. Those were the natural, at least within this community, those were the natural roles that played out. But then if the men, they'd gather around the fire in the evening and they'd tell stories from the day. But if the men were ever getting too cocky, telling stories of their victories on the hunt and so on, the women would just like be cutting them down, like this. And
wow.
Because this element of false ego and pride that is so glorified within a lot of Western society nowadays, like if you have that status and you're puffed up, a lot of people look up to you and those qualities and traits are glorified.
Yeah, like what's his name?
What's his name? Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
like that.
Perfect example.
And then those qualities are desirable apparently, so then women think those qualities are desirable and then they try and impersonate, do you know what I mean? It's like, but in this community, it's like, no, what's valuable is the community and the service of the whole. If anyone's stepping out of line, then the woman would cut them down like that, and vice versa.
Cut down the ego.
Yeah, cut down the ego, And in Vedic culture as well, like the wife will, if the husband's deviating, the wife will keep him in line like that as well. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, everyone's got their role. Very interesting. Yeah. Somehow we went from ice cream and birthdays to the sad realities of the world to how these villages live.
It's quite broad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very broad. Any audience member can gain something. That's good.
It's natural. It's nice to have organic conversation.
Yeah. This is actually really nice that we're doing this podcast, because not only do we get to share all this stuff with other people, but how often do we get to just sit down like this and talk?
So true.
It's so nice to just sit. And there's so many things in my brain that get to come out and, conceptualize, and I can use that in different talks that I give, or, it's amazing.
And I get to learn about both of you more as well.
Yeah, we get to hang out with each other as well. We're very busy. So we see each other, but we're often doing things. But yeah, we've kind of tactically carved out an hour each week where we can just hang out like this. It's so nice.
Amazing.
Some serious mercy.
It's important actually, because there's these different processes in Bhakti, right? It starts with hearing, you hear. So there's it's called Shravanam.
You hear for now.
Yeah, hear for now. Shravanam for now. Hearing, chanting, Kirtanam, and there's Smaranam, remembering, and then there's also something called Mananam, which means reflecting. So for those who don't know, these are all like activities to do with, your pursuit of the absolute truth. You have to hear about it, you have to speak about it, you have to remember it throughout your day as a meditation. But then mananam is reflection. That's something that's rarely spoken about in Bhakti circles. It's like to reflect as in to, absorb and, see how it fits into your life and all the different angles of vision that it can be approached by, and speaking about it with other people and seeing what their perspectives are and really unpacking different things. So mananam, it's a real process in Bhakti Yoga that we don't get to do as much. But when we come together and sit like this, it's an opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. It's important to reveal your heart, isn't it? Conversation, writing and journaling is to do. You do a lot of writing and journaling.
Not enough.
Yeah. I love to write and journal. It's very cathartic, isn't it? Just outpouring. And naturally the process of spiritual practice is purifying and it elevates your consciousness. But if we're engaged in external activities but we're not taking the time to introspect and reflect, then I was speaking with another teacher of mine the other day, and he was talking about how when he was younger he had a guru, and him and his fellow disciples of this guru, they were serving the guru so nicely. They were teaching so many people and helping so many people around the world through spiritual practice and spiritual teachings, as their guru had asked them to do, and so lovingly and compassionately. So they were building communities and centers and temples and bringing so many people. But then if they were asked like how many chapters there were in a famous spiritual book that they were teaching from, they'd be like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 or something. And they were doing so much, but then in terms of the internal reflection and all of this, and then actually some problems started to come, and because they hadn't developed the internal values and integrity and character. It's so important. Like anything we're doing in life, isn't it? You see it so often. Like, to come back to the people that have everything externally, but then they haven't asked any fundamental questions. So how can they survive the onslaught of the material energy, basically? You've not done anything to situate yourself with strong foundations. It's so fundamental. But so yes, this podcast allows us to do that, but everyone, hopefully eventually more people start listening and viewing, and then it's like a collective conversation, isn't it? Introspection. So
Should we call it a day?
Yeah, I reckon so. This was episode 2.
Episode 2. Come a long way.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
It's good development so far.
So thank you everyone that's viewed or listened. Look forward to seeing you all again soon.